Hello, good morning everyone. Today we are going to review a few easy setups and how to add some filters. We had viewed on previous videos how to use a fast moving average like the HMA using the slope change to create entry signals. Like for example, sell when the slope starts going down and buy when it starts going up. This was a very easy setup, and the faster the period, the more fast we get the signal, but we also get some noise or with bad trace. So we must fine-tune the period according to the targets we want to achieve, because maybe we may prefer to have a delayed entry but avoid to having fake signals. This setup was able to be created using the Marker Plus tools, using the slope indicator. We set the indicator that we want to look at the slope. This example is the HMA with a period of 17 on this example. So we get the signals each time the slope changes from positive to negative. If instead of that HMA we have the 34 a bit slower, we must change the period inside the slope indicator. And so we get the signals a little more delayed and also more filtered. But now if we want to add another filter, like for example using a simple moving average, let's say with a period of 50, and on this case the slope of this line is almost down during the whole chart. So if we use the slope as a filter, then we are only taking the short signals. Here the slope starts being positive, so this short is not taken. Let's see if we can find a long. This is a signal with a positive slope. If we want to signal this coincidence between the slope of two lines, so having a long signal when the slope of both lines is trending up, we need to use, let's remove the signals from the slope indicator, so we get no more signals. And now we can use the slope indicator. We are assigning the variable slope 1 to the slope of the HMA. Now we do the same, assigning the slope 2 variable to the SMA 50. SMA 50. We don't want to paint signals also, we are only interested in the histograms. And now we have the histograms with the slope of each line, And we want to paint signals when both slopes are negative or when both slopes are positive. For that we can use the AND indicator, where we can use the assigned signals, assigned names, slope 1 and slope 2. When slope 1 has a minimum of 0 and slope 2 has a minimum of 0 also, so both are positive, we have a result 1. And also we want to paint arrow ups in color blue. We want to paint the first signal and all the others. The arrow, I want it to be painted below the low of the bar, so we use the number 2. On the histogram, we can see values of +1 or -1. +1 when it is true, both slopes are positive, and -1 when it is false. All these arrows are painted because the slope of both lines are positive. Now we can do the same for the shorts. We also use the AND indicator, and when slope 1 has a maximum of 0, so it is below 0, and slope 2 has a maximum of 0, we get a result number 2. Result number 1 is the histogram at the bottom with values of +1 or -1, depending if it is true or false. When this condition is true, I want red arrows, down arrows painted on the first and all the other signals, and over the top of the bar. On this histogram we have the long condition. It is true with the value of +1 when it is true for by, and for cells it is true on all this section, and we get also red arrows painted on all the bars. Let's maximize the panel. Now what may be more useful is only placing the first signal of the trend, not all of the signals. So we use the option of painting first but not the rest. The all true must be set to false. Same for the shorts. And now we only get the first signal for each side. So for example, from the bottom, when both slopes, at this moment both slopes are positive, so we get the first arrow. No more signals until here, where the red has negative slope, and then the next time that both slopes are positive, we get another long signal. Here we have both slopes negative, and we have a pullback. On this point, the red line has a positive slope, so the condition is reset, and then we get a new signal here. Same happens here and here. after each pullback. For this particular case, we can see the slopes of both lines on these histograms, and we are comparing the slopes with 0, but we can use a threshold instead of using 0. We are talking about values of 0.001, so we can use a number of in that range as the threshold. For example, on this section we have the green line going from positive to negative slope. So on the AND function, instead of using a 0 as limit, we can put a threshold. If I use a big threshold like 0.01, then we may get no signals at all. We were talking about numbers in the range of 0.001, like here, and the bigger the number, the bigger the threshold, the later or more delayed that we have the first signal. For the shorts, the threshold should be negative. For example, if we want to add a threshold to these short signals, instead of using 0, we should need to use a minus 0.001, so we get the bigger the threshold, the bigger the delay. The bigger the delay on the trigger of each signal, so we can avoid noise signals. This is a very easy setup where we can add a lot of more features and filters. Usually the simple moving average used for the trend should be the slower possible, and the HMA, which is used as trigger, should be the fastest possible. So we are filtering by the trend of the slow SMA and triggering by the trend changes of the HMA. The green line can be on another chart. So for example, this indicator, the slope of the SMA, can be on another chart assigning the same variable of the SMA but working on a different time frame, usually slower. Once that we have this indicator applied on the other chart, then we have the variable available to be used here. Hope this has been useful for you. If you have any question, please post below this video. Thank you, bye bye.